Hey guys, welcome to a moment of sanity, and I want to ask you just one thing. Do you truly accept yourself? And if the answer is yes, the second question. Do you accept yourself in the right way? Yes, my friend, there is a right way on accepting yourself. There is a right way on looking towards yourself and accepting it. And self-acceptance is such a misunderstood concept nowadays. Everyone is talking about self-acceptance, okay? And it's misunderstood, like any other good concept that we have, like any other healthy concept that we have. So what self-acceptance means? Usually, when we talk about self-acceptance, you have people that use it as an excuse to not work on themselves. Okay? I call these conformists. They say, I'm born this way. I am this way. I maybe tried to fight against it and I couldn't make it. And you guess what? I will be this way until the end of my life. And these people call this self-acceptance. Okay? Just accepting whatever you have, being compassionate and happy because you have about it, and not doing anything about future. And this by definition is unhealthy. It is kind of like ignoring your problems. Is a way to gaslight yourself with empathy. Okay? Ignoring your problems or just telling you that they are there doesn't solve them. And this makes you weak in the long term. And because of that, what I call the conformists, in the long term, they become weak. And the first suffering that they encounter destroys them. Why? Because they didn't work on their problems. They didn't work on their weaknesses. So they became weak. It's really interesting because in self-improvement, it's really hard to have a stuck state of, like, the person is stuck, not going up and not going down. Okay? It's really hard. Usually when you feel that, when you're saying like, oh, I achieved the balance, usually you're going down. And this is the case of the conformist. Through self-acceptance, they kind of die. They kill themselves. And the second type is the conditional acceptance type. So they are fully conscious of their problems, but the problem is that they just see their lives through the lens of problems. And I can confess, I myself have this tendency. Okay, I have this tendency to see life as just problems that we need to figure out, problems that we need to solve. And this is a conditional self-acceptance sometimes because you are seeing the problem, but deep in your heart, what happened is, if I don't do X, Y, and Z, I'm not valuable. If I don't have this amount of money, I'm not valuable. If I don't have kind of girlfriend, I'm not valuable. If my boss doesn't give me a promotion, I'm not valuable. So what you're doing is you're putting your value on external things, and this is really fragile because external things, they're not stable. They change all the time. Okay? So you cannot rely on external things to put your value. And life is not just about solving problems. If you just solve problems like that, you will not enjoy the good things about life. I'm not talking about cheap pleasure, but I'm talking about finding a deep sense of pleasure. Having pleasure in the good things, friendship, maybe a good girlfriend, a good husband, wife, doing your vocation, doing your hobby, whatever. Okay? So these kind of people, they just see life as a problem. And this is a problem. Life is really painful that way. Life is really bitter. Okay? So you have these two concepts of self-acceptance. You know, one condition, the other one is like, let's ignore everything. I'm just this way and I accept myself and, you know, and all this stuff. But this is not real self-acceptance. Actually, self-acceptance is one basic thing. It's just looking in and accepting whatever is inside, either good or bad. Did you saw the problem of these two guys? They just see the bad things. This one gave up on the bad things, and this one is fighting against the bad things like there is no tomorrow, like life is just that. What we need to do about self-acceptance is looking inside ourselves. We cannot value ourselves towards the external things, okay, towards the result, because of the results. You know, because the results, they are not in our control. What is in our control is whether we are doing our best or not. And that has value in itself. You know, you cannot blame yourself because something didn't work out if you're trying your best. Okay, actually, your value, a better way to value yourself is through your intentions. Learning to value yourself through whether you're doing your best or not. Okay, so real self-acceptance is not about just looking to your problems, it's looking inside your heart and seeing what is good and what is bad. And sometimes you will be surprised about the amount of good things that you have. Or sometimes you don't value the good things that you have. Okay, because you compare yourself too much with the others. But true self-acceptance is recognizing the treasure that we have here, the gold that we have here, the diamonds that we have here. Okay? Recognizing also the poison that we have here too. And looking at it and this mixture, nothing is that, like the human heart is not that black and white, you know, and accepting it, you know, but not being conformed. Accepting means that you're conscious, you're aware of it, okay? And you are aware of every single thing, even your good intentions. I believe that if you're watching this video, you already have good intentions, my friend. So please don't value yourself towards external things, towards what the others speak about you, towards whether you are successful in a business or not. Okay? You have value because you have good intentions. You have value because you're trying your best. I need to talk to the camera, okay? Talk to the camera. You're valuable because of your good intentions. You're valuable because you're trying your best. You cannot ask a person to do more than what is their best. Okay? You cannot ask a person to do more than that. Yeah? And true self-acceptance comes from there. But how can I accept myself more? How, Daniel? There's any practical exercise? In this case, I would just give to you one of the exercises that I had, you know, in my master's in counseling. And I'm really grateful for the professor that gave us that. So you would take a sheet of paper and you would divide it in 4, you know, and the first part of the sheet of paper is the most important part because it's the part that we ignore the most. Sometimes we don't really believe that we are capable of good. Sometimes we don't really believe that there's something good inside us, you know. So you would divide it in 4, and the first thing you will write about positive stuff about yourself. Positive stuff. Positive stuff. And things that you truly believe that they are positive. You know. Things that you truly believe that they are positive. And write them down. If you can, ask people to tell you what is positive about you and things that they see, you know, like when they're talking to you. You know, part of why we become negative about ourselves is because we isolate ourselves from people. Okay? And sometimes we have good qualities, you know, like empathy, like some virtues, real virtues, you know, hardworking, you know, problem-solving mind and all this stuff. And these are good stuff. These are good stuff, my friend. These are treasures. Okay? The second part, you will write down what is bad about you. You know, and write it down. You know, this, and that. And in this case, of course, you will not balance your perception about yourself at once, but at least you will be more conscious about what you have of good and what is bad. And in order to handle what is bad, write some strategies that you can try. Okay, in the third section. No, not strategies yet. Write a theory. Why you think that these bad things are there. And then finally, on the fourth one, you write a strategy that you would do. There, So the why could be like, oh, maybe I'm too shy and I don't talk with people and etc. Why does that happen? Oh, because when I was a kid, this happened, or because I never had the opportunity, or and etc. and so on. Okay, and then after you go to the solution. Also, maybe the solution will be to expose little by little myself more to this kind of social situations, or maybe talk to a counselor, or maybe seeking help. Okay, usually this helps at least a little bit. I am curious about what you think about the exercise. I'm curious to hear your feedback, about the exercise. What happened after the exercise? So go there, do the exercise, meditate deeply about your good things, accept your good things, because you have good things and we usually ignore them, and that's what creates the imbalance in our personality. Okay? Accept your good things, embrace them, and use them to take out your bad things. Not valuing yourself through the external because you can achieve, or the problems that you have, but having a full vision because you're a human being that has good intentions. Okay? The fact that you're here already proves that you have good intention. So if you like the video and you think the video would help someone, please subscribe in the channel and send this video to someone to help them. Because self-acceptance is such an important thing if we want to grow. Okay? See you guys, and we are together in this journey.